Frequency with Bolele on 947.
There's this TV show that I think a lot of us just are watching on Sunday, and it's driving a lot of people crazy. Because of the things that are happening on the show. Married at First Sight, Mzansi, is just a show that just leaves you feeling like, hey, this cannot be how married life is. This cannot be how people in relationships actually maneuver things. So in this past Sunday's episode, there was a conversation between a group of the guys that are married on the TV show that actually caught my attention, right? So one of the husbands shared that his wife was planning a night out with her friends. And, she actually spoke to him beforehand and asked how he would feel if she came back home at around 1 a.m. in the early a.m.s. And he wasn't particularly happy about it. And he only expressed this to the boys. He only expressed this to the friends. But instead of expressing that to his wife, he simply just said, okay. He says he said okay because he was trying to keep the peace. But a part of me just feels like he's just really not as open as he would like to believe he is with his wife. Cool. He says okay. And now he's stressing. Everybody is out. He's out with the boys. His wife is out with her girls. But whilst he's out with the boys, he is stressing. And now this has become the topic of conversation at the table that they are sitting at. And it got me thinking, because technically she communicated that she didn't, that she was planning on getting home at that time. It's not like she disappeared and came home at 1 a.m. without saying anything to him. And according to her, her husband is okay with this. But from what I have come to recognize and notice is that it caused a fight, because in other parts of the episode, now they're suddenly just not getting along. Now he's not happy anymore. So it seems like that thing caused a fight. And I feel like he's the one to blame for that. But fine. She communicated on her end and he failed in his communication of expressing his dissatisfaction or his worries or how he actually just felt about that entire thing, right? This made me think that, sheesh, man, because whilst watching that episode, I just felt like controlling much. And you'd hear the guys in the conversation, they were just going, yeah, but she asked for permission. And I'm just like, huh? Is that how it works in marriage? Are we asking for permission? So it made me think, like, when you get married, does the way that you go out with your friends have to change? Especially if in dating, it was never a problem. Does the dynamic then change once you are married? Without kids, mind you. I guess, of course, obviously, if there is the incorporation of kids, the conversation changes completely. But without kids, you guys are newlywed, living your best lives, enjoying married life, but still also living your own lives in between all of that. Does it change? Does it change? And do you have to ask for permission when you decide that you're going out and you're going to come back late after a night out with friends? Do things like what time you get home matter? Where you're going, who you're with, and how often you go out become a conversation between the two of you? And are there rules and regulations that govern this sort of thing? And if your partner asks you how you feel and you say if you ask your partner how they feel and they say they're okay, are you allowed to later be upset? Because I took your word for it. I feel like no. But what I ultimately want to understand tonight, and I think is the question that I would love for you to answer, and the conversation that I feel we need to get into. Does being married change what coming home after a night out with friends looks like? And where's the line between having your independence and being considerate of your spouse? I know we've got a lot of married family members here. So does being married change what coming home after a night out with friends actually looks like? Is there a curfew? Are you not allowed to be home after a particular time? And where then do you draw the line between having your independence and being considerate of your spouse?
947.
I am so glad that a lot of married parties have come to the conversation tonight, because it's also kind of explaining why. I ain't got a ring on my finger yet. But we're talking about being married, right? And whether that changes what coming home after a night out with your friends looks like. Is there a curfew? Are you allowed to come home in the AMs like you might have done before getting married? What's the conversation around all of this? And how do you maneuver this dynamic when you are married, right? More so if you were a person that was just so carefree and you came home late. And you might have lived in a home where your parents didn't mind just as long as you communicated type vibe. Because that's where I'm basing this from, right? I'm just like, not even my parents were like that strict. I just had to communicate. So I'm not trying to get into a marriage that is just going to have me feeling like I'm a hostage in a situation, right? So y'all are coming to the party and you're helping me understand. But over and above that, I'm trying to understand where we then draw the line between having your independence and, of course, being considerate of your spouse. 066 3818 609.
Yebo, yes. First of all, it's not permission that you ask for. Okay. It's actually consent. It's consent. So secondly, yes, the dynamics needs to change because now you're building a family. So you cannot just run around freely like you used to. You have to give your union attention, the attention that it deserves. Thank you, Anonymous.
Okay, I get that. Not quite understanding the difference between permission and consent, but okay, sharp, I understand that. I understand the building of a family. But let's say it's not something that happens often. What if it's something that happens, once every 3 months, and the time that I actually do go out with my friends like that? Is it wrong if I find myself coming home in the AMs? Jeremy?
Yes, once you're married, you have to ask for permission. I'm married now for 6 years with my wife and my 3 beautiful kids. So yeah, everything changes from the time you were dating. And once you start a family, your family is your friends. And they're your friends, they're everything to you. So once you get married, you have to ask for permission. Can you go see your friends or can you go see your family members? So yeah, with certain marriage, things change.
Sure.
So yeah, with marriage, you have to ask for permission. Can you go out with your guys? Or can you go out for just having a drink? So yeah, you have to ask for permission once you're married. So yeah, I'm married for 6 years now. And it comes with asking for permission. Can you go a certain time and this a certain time back in the house?
Look, Jeremy wants us to know that he's been married for 6 years and that permission is something that you must ask for. Okay, please, you have to ask for permission. Ask for permission. Make sure that you are asking for permission, okay? But is it permission or is it just a matter of letting your partner know? Because I think there's a difference, right? There's a difference between you saying, hey, babe, can I go out and I'll be back at 1 a.m. and them saying yes being why you will go out and them saying no being the reason that you will stay behind. And there's a difference with, just saying, letting your partner know and letting them know that, hey man, going out with the girls tonight, I'll probably be back at 1 a.m. And if you are not satisfied with the idea of me coming back at 1 a.m., then you'll say, cool, yeah, sure. Going out with your friends is not something that I mind, but can you please get home earlier? Obviously, there's a lot of concerns around safety and all of that. But the permission one is he's making my shoulder twitch a bit, eh? But keep those responses coming. What does being married change about coming home after a night with your friends? Are you still allowed to come home after 1 a.m. or in the AMs? And where then do we draw the line between your independence and, of course, being considerate of your spouse? At what level do we make the sacrifices that sometimes then feel a bit oppressive?
947.
It seems like this conversation is about to get hot. It's about to get heated because a couple of responses that have come through here, I am just like, oh, stop the lorry. Wait a minute. Is that how it works? We're talking about being married and how things, might change in a marriage. More so partying and going out and living your life and enjoying time with your friends. Does being married change what coming home after a night out with friends looks like? And where do we draw the line between having your independence and, of course, being considerate towards your spouse?
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
You know what? I have a theory. And I'm no marriage counselor by any means, but marriages fail because of small things, simple things. I mean, we're dating, right?
Sure.
I know that my lady doesn't like doing things, not doing things per se, but she doesn't like cooking, but she doesn't mind cleaning.
Sure.
I do like cooking, you know what I mean? And
Mm.
and That's the setup. So, with that said, even like when it comes to going out and whatnot, you fell in love with this person the way they were, with the lifestyle that they led, and you had no issues with that. But Mrs. Shatila, all of a sudden, everything changes. I know now there's umfazi must in as much as there's indota must, but I'm not there. You know what I mean? But we tend to mess up our marriages because of these funny expectations or these funny rules that we adopt after saying I do. Because the thing is, when you marry a person, they don't change. The only thing that changes is the fact that you are legally together.
Yes,
that's the only thing that changes. But people are still the same. So whatever that they did before you got married, within reason, also.
Of course.
Whatever they did before you got married, they should just if they feel like they want to continue doing whatever it is that they were doing, going out with girls or whatever, that should be fine. That should be fine, and she actually gave him the courtesy of informing the guy as in this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go out with the girls, and I'm gonna come back late or whatever the case. I feel that she can't be faulted, but I don't know. That's just me. I could be wrong, but anyway, that's yeah.
Oh, Meaning Black, you're going to want to sit down for the next of the responses that are coming through here, okay? Let's get it.
Afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, boy.
When you are married, the first thing that you have to understand is that the levels or the things that you were doing before, you can't carry on doing it. Whether you used to go out during the night, the things you have to avoid it. Why? The level you weigh and the level you are is not the same. So which means you're a married person, you must respect your marriage, respect your husband and your wife. Whether you have ladies who are your friends, they are not married, you cannot be associated with them, because the things that the girls that can do, you cannot do, because you are somebody's wife, somebody's husband. You understand? If your man is just saying, okay, it's fine, you can go. It's fine, you can go. Trust me, there's something that the man is up to, because maybe he don't want to control you. So he decided to leave you. But I don't believe that marriage can last longer. So first thing, respect your partner the way you respect yourself. But you can't go out during the night leaving your partner home. It doesn't make sense. And it's not making sense. You can't leave your partner home and go to wherever you want to go.
Serious?
When come back late. Thank you, the listener. Thank you.
Ish, man, I don't know. There's a lot that was said in that voice note that has me feeling like, oh no, am I like now signing to get into prison or what? Because it sounds more like a prison than it does a marriage. Marriage is supposed to be a beautiful, happy type institution. And I feel the moment you start to put so many rules and regulations around your coming together, it just distorts a lot of things. Just like what Man in Black was saying. For me personally, I don't think I'd survive in that kind of marriage where now I have to let go of my friends, even if they're single. I can't be associated with them because they don't understand certain things. No, I don't know.
Yeah, could be. My fellow listeners, now this is a good one. I hear guys talking about consent
Another problem.
and permission. Our guys, no man. Hey, there's a big shambok behind you, eh? No. Let me tell you something. Last month was July, yes. I was with my best friend. We came home at about 2 a.m., 2:30. We didn't even realize what the time was. Now, can you guess who I was with? I was with wifey, guys. We were chilling. We were grooving. Consent, permission. Come on. We've been married for more than 10 years this year. So, when you got that right mate that you're partying with, guys, you'll have the time of your life.
I agree.
And that's also because you love what each other does. So this thing, consent, permission, be careful of the words, guys.
Yeah, no. It sounds like should you dare come home at like 1 a.m, that shampoo is going to be waiting for you. Why do
947.
Talking about marriage, and does being married change what coming home after a night out with friends looks like? And where do we then draw the line between our independence in the relationship and, of course, being considerate towards your partner? 066-381-8609.
Hey, B.
Hello.
I think when I first moved in with my ex, this was a huge problem because... and it wasn't a thing of insecurity or whatnot. I just didn't like it when she would go out and then I don't know where she went or when she's gonna come back, because I feel like I have a sense of responsibility over her. If anything were to happen, her family is gonna look at me and be like, what did you do about it? How could you let this happen? Which is a natural reaction, I guess. And the same went, for me. She also had wanted to know and she would get concerned. And then when she would get concerned, then I would use that and be like, yeah, Bona, you also feel some type of way when this happens,
I see why it was a fight. I see why it was an issue. Because you guys seemingly are struggling to communicate, maybe? Because I think your concerns are quite valid. When you guys are staying together and you're living together and you're building your lives around each other, there is a certain responsibility that you carry towards the next person, equally on both sides. And I guess, yes, as a guy in the relationship, you do feel quite responsible for the safety of your partner. Granted, it's fair. Those conversations, however, need to be had. And yes, she needs to exercise consideration by letting you know that, listen, this is who I'm going out with. This is where we're going. This is the times that we're likely to be back. And if that changes, I will let you know, right? Because then it puts you in a safe space, because you are with either people that you feel you can trust, that she is with people that you feel you can trust, or you know where to find her should anything happen. All of that is valid. All of that just obviously needs to be communicated between two parties. I'm obviously not going to be a reckless human being knowing that I live with someone and just go out. I mean, that is definitely inconsiderate towards the people that you live with. Even if I'm living with my younger brother knows that when we are staying together, there needs to be that level of communication where if he's out, he needs to let me know that, dude, I'm going out. This is where we're going. He obviously won't tell me every single movement. We've now gotten to a point where we're sharing each other's locations, which makes it easier for us. But I know he's out. And it also saves me the trouble. If he's deciding that he's not coming back home, then I know to lock and everything is safe. If he's still coming, then obviously there's a protocol that we have put in place that keeps the both of us safe, So communication for all of those things is very important. Yes, if you're not communicating, then yes, your partner is definitely validated in being upset about that, because are you living alone? And I think that's the thing that changes then when you decide to get married or decide to live with someone. The fact that you're not single. There is someone that you have to be mindful of. There is the next person that you have to think of. But it need not be controlling. It doesn't have to be a thing of, can I please, I'm an adult, but I'm an adult. I'll just let you know, hey babe, I'm going out. This is where we're going. Maybe even extend, the request for you to pick me up afterwards or something. But just so that I know that I'm thought of, and should anything happen, there is someone that I can call. But also that my partner knows that, okay, this is where she is, this is who she's with, and should anything happen, I will know, or she will let me know. That is consideration. But some of these other responses that have been coming through about you cannot, you must ask for permission, consent. Hi,
Bolele.
Hello.
First of all, I'm just worried that I think it sounds like a lot of men are the only ones that are sending this voice note.
I know, right?
But anywho, from my point of view, right, it's not more of permission or consent. but courtesy. So you shouldn't do the AMs on a random night where you just disappear and then you come back on the AMs. It's more of, if you're gonna do it every 3 months or so, like you're saying, it's something that's standard and you guys are communicating and there's an awareness. If you never do that and then one time you do it, I get shocked or I get worried and then I don't know where to find you because it's not something that I was exposed to. And also, you can't be doing these things only because you are married. If you were coming back on the AMs when we were dating, I also need to understand you might do it when we are married because it was not an issue then. So I think it's not permission or consent, but more of awareness and clear communication and the courtesy to make sure that you, especially when you have kids, also aligning to make sure that both of you are not going out so that you either have a sitter or one of you takes care of the kids. That's my 2 cents here.
And it's valid. Sounds very fair to me. Very, very fair to me. Let's wrap it up.
Good evening, B.
Hello, Neil.
First of all, there is no independence in marriage. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to ask the spouse about what you're planning to do. You wouldn't have to bring it to the table about whatever that you're planning to do, or whatever. Right? And what this man did was what we do as men all day, every day, which is keep the peace. Because the fundamental parts of man and woman, of husband and wife, have changed completely in this generation. If he had said no, you cannot do that, or I don't like for you to do that, it was going to be seen as, you're controlling, you do it, why can't I do it? Because you do it, so you can do it and I can't do it. It was going to be that back and forth. So to keep the peace, he said, yes, things change. The dynamics, things change in marriage.
I get it. I get that things change in marriage. Yes, they are likely to change in marriage. We are now 2 people coming together as one, and there is a lot that needs to be considered as a result, right? Firstly, our finances are being shared. A lot of the decisions that we are making are likely to affect the next person. All of that, right? But in the same breath, I feel like, and I get what you mean by saying there's no independence in marriage, but I am still my own person and my partner is still their own person, right? And in us still being our own people, there's a certain part of you that needs to be expressed differently. And I might not be able to know how to fulfill certain things for you in the marriage. I don't know, I'm not married. I'm just assuming, right? And you will get certain things from your friends and you're out and whatever. I personally, in a marriage setup, would not want to feel like I'm holding you back from, number 1, growing to become the person that you ultimately envision yourself to become. Number 2, I do not want to make you feel like you have no room to be yourself. And number 3, I do not want to make you feel like you are in prison, because then it defeats the purpose of what we're trying to build. And that's what was concerning. Another thing quite concerning about the voice notes coming through today, only the guys. Zaza is sending me eyes and stuff. You should have sent a voice note and told us how it works in your marriage, girl, because now the girls, it seems like they've lost their voice when it comes to this one. And that's quite alarming, because now it's almost leaning towards the fact that, no, yeah, B, we have to ask for permission. I personally feel 2 individuals coming together as one to build something beautiful is absolutely amazing. But the individuals themselves should not lose who they are, who they're trying to become, and how they see themselves by virtue of, falling into that union. Then it creates issues and could potentially be the reason why divorce rates are actually so high.
She's the plug.
For vibes, for music,
for everything you didn't know you needed.
Turn it up louder. The Frequency with Bolele
on 947.